Workplace mental health is a growing concern, especially as people adjust to returning to the office or hybrid work. Stress, burnout, and job satisfaction are common challenges that impact well-being.
And we're joined again by Dr. Jessica Britt-Thomas, Director of Integrated Behavioral Health in the Department of Family and Community Medicine at MCG Wellstar. She's sharing some more valuable insights and advice about this topic that we're talking about. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so let's talk about it. This is something that probably everybody, the majority, is being affected by. Why do workplace stress and burnout? It just seems to be much more prevalent, especially as people are returning to the offices and adjusting from those hybrid work models.
Yeah, so the pandemic it disrupted a lot of our normal workflow. We all went to, a lot of us, not everyone, I wasn't able to, but
right.
A lot of us went to remote learning and then moving back to a hybrid model. It creates a blurred boundary between professional and personal life. It often means that people tend to work more hours and longer hours than they normally were when they were just going in directly 8 to 5 or 9 to 6. And so that becomes very difficult for someone to manage. And then also, you don't realize, but being remote, you're very isolated. Yep. You're not seen or heard, as some people say. And so it's a very difficult transition both ways.
Now, what are some of the most effective strategies for managing stress in the workplace, particularly when the demands seem to keep piling up?
Yeah, so prioritization and time management, they kind of go hand in hand. Prioritizing tasks that have more of an immediate demand or more time consuming cause a lot more effort on your end, right. And then being able to allocate appropriate amount of time. But I'm also going to underscore boundary setting. We tend to, especially those of us, including myself, who are people pleasing, we want to make sure everyone's happy. We're that yes man, and that can get very overwhelming if we're not able to delegate tasks or put boundaries in when you cannot actually meet those demands.
You know, and I guess part of that too is also cutting yourself off when you leave work.
Yes.
Don't answer the calls.
Yeah, you know, Apple has a really nice option of focus and do not disrupt. So it literally will your phone will not go off, which could be a good and bad thing, but it allows you to have that space to focus on your work.
Yep.
So how can employees recognize the early signs of burnout here? Because obviously everybody's probably got one or two hats on their heads that they're having to be handling all the time. You want to try to prevent the becoming overwhelming.
Yeah, so I want to say, if you ask someone outright, are you burnt out? I feel like they would think, oh no, I'm not. But the signs are actually hard to detect when you are burning out. Fatigue is a big one, so feeling very exhausted on a regular basis, even if you're getting adequate amount of sleep, but you're just still feeling very groggy and tired. I want to underscore cynicism and negativity. Driving into work with thoughts of, oh gosh, here we go again. Here's another day. Oh, I have to see Cliff today. You know, it's one of those where
Have you been talking to Tim?
It's not a normal thought process, so this isn't something that you're always thinking. This has been a gradual change, and it really starts impacting your performance. Not putting as much effort, not caring as much as you used to. Those are all signs of burnout.
And you also lose the ability to focus, right?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Oh, Cliff, this conversation's not going well for us.
We love you, Cliff.
Now, Dr. Jessica, what key factors contribute to job satisfaction?
Besides working with Cliff.
Having a nice, healthy work-life balance, implementing strategies. So for me, I use decompression. So when I leave work, I used to use that time in the car to call people or chat. I now just sit in silence and I reflect on the day. So I'm not carrying anything into the house. Being able to advocate for your needs and also being able to take time off when you need to, whether that be not long periods of vacation, but even breaks in between. For your lunch break, instead of scheduling a meeting, maybe you go out for a walk, maybe you step outside. We have great weather outside the pollen right now, but being able to embrace good weather and natural sunlight is a very effective thing to do.
Nice.
So how can employees voice their needs at work to improve their well-being?
So this is tough, and this depends on the type of work environment you're in. If you are in a supportive work culture, then being able to communicate that I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, being able to lean in on your management to provide support where maybe I need to offload some tasks or maybe I need an additional extension or deadline. Those are things that could be very, very helpful initially. But again, I think your work environment is actually very crucial into being able to effectively implement that.
Okay, now, so since you talked about that, so what can organizations do to foster a more supportive environment?
Yeah, so there's a lot of trainings that upper management can take to be able to detect when employees are burnt out, so it doesn't fall on the employee to always bring up or advocate. It actually can go a long way when someone is able to recognize that. You get that sense of they care about me, they're paying attention to me. Validation and recognition. If someone is doing a really good job, we need to highlight that. We need to underscore that, whether that's in an email blast, that's a poster, that's in a meeting making some kind of quick announcement. Validation actually and recognition actually goes further along than a salary increase. Long term.
Agree 100%.
Great points to navigate stress and the burnout at work. And if you are feeling like that, speak out.
Yes.
Definitely tell your bosses. Jessica, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.